down for the count. So TMZ had a video of him all up in the hospital. He was, strapped up and stuff. We are not putting out any graphic information like that. I just don't think it's right that they have that type of video. I think somebody from the nurses team probably sold it, to TMZ the same way they selling Diddy photos and everything. I'm like, why we ain't got no R. Kelly?
But the people who know Ray J's world aren't buying it. Not after what happened to Kim Porter. Same symptoms, same sudden collapse, same man at the center of two empires built on secrets. Diddy's and the Kardashians, both of which Ray J has spent the last year trying to burn down. And now, as we speak, he's lying in a Las Vegas hospital bed hooked up to machines while his Instagram feed pretends everything's fine. Birthday plans, smiling selfies, like a man who either doesn't know how bad this looks or doesn't care. But the people around him, they're the ones who look like they've seen this movie before because they have. Ray is a good dude. Ray is a good dude. So I'ma ask God to please heal this man fast and in a hurry. Please help this man get up real fast and go catch a rabbit. Apparently he's in the hospital from pneumonia. I think he having some chest pains and heart pains. He's 44 years old. He don't look 44. He still look 12. Let's start with the diagnosis. Severe pneumonia. Just like in 2021 when Ray J thought he was going to pass. Back then, he told TMZ he started praying, convinced it was over. This time, the prayers aren't coming from him. They're coming from the people who know what happens when you cross the wrong power players in this industry. And Ray J, he's crossed two of the biggest. First, there's Kim Kardashian, who he's accused of federal crimes, claiming she and Kris Jenner are facing a racketeering investigation so explosive it'll make Diddy's legal troubles look like a parking ticket. Then there's Diddy himself, a man whose inner circle, according to whispers, has already made their feelings about Ray J very clear. Too clear. The kind of clear that ends with hospital stays and convenient diagnosis. Now, let's talk about that pneumonia. Lobar pneumonia. That's the official term. They're going through it. They don't work. They're mentally messed up. They're there whether you got a $2 billion budget or you got a $200,000. Everybody's done. The same thing that took Kim Porter Diddy's ex back in 2018. The same thing that according to Alb Schur wasn't an accident. The same thing that all of a sudden has Ray J fighting for his life after months of dropping bombshells about both families. Coincidence? Maybe. But in a world where Diddy's facing human trafficking charges, and Kim Kardashian's lawyer is calling Ray J's lawsuits frivolous while he's lying in a hospital bed, coincidence starts to sound like the punchline to a very dark joke. And here's where it gets messy. Because Ray J wasn't just talking, he was screaming on live streams and interviews anywhere a camera would point his way. He called out Diddy's payoffs. He accused Kim and Kris of extortion. He even joked, if you can call it that he was the new Diddy on Kaizenet's stream right before things got weird. Really weird. The kind of weird that ends with a man in handcuffs on Thanksgiving waving a gun on live TV, screaming about people trying to take his kids. The kind of weird that in hindsight looks less like a meltdown and more like a man who knew something was coming. I know you are, but stop. I'm trying to help you out. All right, we good. They're probably pull up right now. I got that out of here, bro. But let's back up because this isn't just about Ray J's health. It's about his timing. Think about it. He spends years as the industry's punching bag. The guy who got famous for an intimacy tape he claims was consensual. The guy who watched Kim Kardashian turned that tape into an empire while he got labeled the villain. Then all of a sudden, he starts fighting back. He sues Kim and Kris for $6 million, accusing them of breaking their settlement agreement by dragging up the intimacy tape on their Hulu show. He goes on rants about federal investigations. He starts nomming names, and what happens next? The pneumonia comes back worse than ever with heart complications right as he's in the middle of filming some bizarre reality project, where he's hitchhiking across the country, sleeping on strangers' couches, looking more unhinged by the day. A man with no protection, no filter, and suddenly no ability to breathe. And the wild part, he's still posting birthday celebrations. Smiles like a man who either doesn't realize how bad this looks or knows exactly how bad it looks and doesn't care. Because here's the thing about Ray J, he's always been the guy who says the quiet part out loud. The guy who crashes live streams, who pulls guns on Thanksgiving, who sues the Kardashians and then doubles down when they sue him back. The guy who just months ago was telling anyone who'd listened that the feds were coming for Kim and Kris, that Diddy's world was about to collapse, that he had receipts. And now he's the one collapsing in a hospital with the same condition that took out Diddy's ex, while the people he's been exposing stay silent. Now, let's talk about the Kardashian angle, because this isn't just about Diddy. This is about a family that doesn't lose ever. Remember that $6 million settlement? The one where Kim and Kris allegedly paid Ray J to shut up about the intimacy tape. The one they're now accused of violating by bringing it up on their show. That's not just a lawsuit, that's a pattern. Because the Kardashians don't just win, they erase. And Ray J, he's been trying to rewrite that narrative for years. He's called them liars. He's accused them of extortion. He's even claimed in legal filings that Kim Kardashian begged him to go along with her false story about the tape being leaked against her will. So, Ray J, look, can you talk about what's in the actual doc? Because people were surprised, too, that there were 2 tapes that y'all shot. Okay, hold on. I'm feeling try to talk to the mic. And what happens when you try to rewrite the Kardashian story? Well, ask Kanye, ask Pete Davidson, ask anyone who's ever thought they could go toe-to-toe with that machine and walk away unscathed. But here's the thing about the Kardashians. They don't just fight back. They weaponize. And right now, Ray J is in a hospital bed, his body failing him, while their lawyer calls his claims frivolous. While Kim Kardashian reveals on national television that she's been diagnosed with a brain aneurysm. Stress, the doctors say. While the world watches her cry about her divorce from Kanye, her law school struggles, her kids growing up in the spotlight. While Ray J's kids are posting about his birthday plans like everything's normal, like their dad isn't fighting for his life in a city where secrets get buried and pneumonia diagnoses get handed out like business cards. And then there's Diddy. Oh, Diddy. I would rather be not in jail 'cause I'd rather be than to be on medication. No one from the family has taken any responsibility for my hospital visit. But if we were to go online, that's 50% of what people say at least, or maybe am I lying? It doesn't matter. Am I lying? It don't matter. It does matter. It does matter. The man WHO, according to Ray J, has been paying off accusers for years. The man whose legal troubles are so deep they're making headlines every single day. The man whose ex Kim Porter passed of the exact same thing Ray J is now battling. The man whose inner circle, insiders say, made it very clear to Ray J that he was talking too much. And what does Ray J do? He keeps talking. He goes on Kaizenit stream and jokes about being the new Diddy. He hints at federal investigations. He starts naming names. And then bam, pneumonia, heart pains, a hospital stay just like Kim Porter, just like that. Now let's talk about the timeline, because this isn't just bad luck. This is a pattern. Ray J spends years as the industry's joke, the intimacy tape guy, the reality TV mess, the man who can't stay out of his own way. Then all of a sudden he starts dropping truth bombs. He accuses Diddy of running a payoff scheme. He claims Kim and Kris are facing federal charges. He files lawsuits. He goes on rants. And what happens? His health collapses again. The same way it did in 2021 when he thought he was going to pass. The same way Kim Porter's did. The same way that, if you're paying attention, starts to look less like a coincidence and more like a playbook. And here's the thing about playbooks. They leave fingerprints. Like the fact that Ray J was in Las Vegas when this happened. Not LA where his kids are. Not New York where his legal battles are playing out. Vegas, the city where anything can happen and no one asks questions. The city where just a few months ago he was allegedly in a tense standoff with Diddy's sons at a private party. The city where, according to sources, Diddy's team has been known to handle problems. The city where Ray J just so happened to be when his lungs started filling up. And let's not forget the hitchhiking project. Because that's the other thing about Ray J, he's been acting like a man who's either running from something or toward it. Feeling, brother, you good? I'm feeling good. You got a lot going on. A lot going on. Yeah. I want to make it really, I'm happy that this is my platform now. Gee, thank you for giving me the opportunity. Yes. To go into the holidays in the Q4 correctly, okay? With respect and honor and love. Filming a show where he's sleeping on strangers' couches, begging for food, talking about how hard it is to get home. Like a man who's either broke